All right, folks, that's the game. Game is over. Seattle Seahawks lose their opener in Green Bay to the Packers 17-9. Now, no sense in blowing my stack off this one, of course. We are talking about a game in Green Bay. Losing that game was not unexpected. I even said in my pregame video I really wanted to pick the Seahawks. Couldn't do it. Didn't do it. Thought we were going to drop this one. We did. No shame. Maybe watching that game, and if you watch the game, you probably know what I'm talking about. I blew my stack a few times while watching that sucker, but for the most part, it's just a learning experience. I'm going to get over this one real quick, but there's a lot you can learn from a game like this. So let's start with all the positives, because despite the loss, there are a lot of positives, and I really want to take some serious time talk about those things, because those are the things, if they hold, that are going to push this team to the level that they were at in 2013 and 2014. Defense. I would have to search long and hard to find one thing about this defense to complain about after today. Defensive line was as billed. I mean, Green Bay, they got a good offensive line. I know they were missing Balaga. Of course they're going to win some battles. This is not like you're playing, you're not Alabama playing against Troy and your defensive line just rushes in and gets a sack every other play. You're going to lose some of those battles. That's a good, talented offensive line. It's a good quarterback who knows what he's doing. And basically, we won enough battles to where I can safely say that this defensive line should be the most fearsome in all of football this year. Michael Bennett, great game from him. Cliff Averill, he had a sack. Sheldon Richardson might have been the second or third best player on the whole team today. That dude had a huge impact. Frank Clark got involved in some of the pass rushing. Nazir Jones, first ever NFL game, made one good play later in the game, and of course he had the interception that should have been a pick six earlier in the game. Monster stuff from him. That defensive line is as advertised. Terrence Garvin, guy who I didn't think was even going to play that much today, he showed up today. He got pass rush on Rodgers. He hit Rodgers a few times in this game. I was very impressed with him, and he was one of the guys I was a tiny bit concerned about. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, always dominant, filling those run gaps. Really great stuff from those guys. Secondary, Sherman, his usual strong self. Earl Thomas might have been our best player today. Earl was going around like a tomahawk missile, blowing receivers up, making plays on the ball. Earl, it's good to have you back. Cam Chancellor, not a huge game from him, but he did fine. Shaquille Griffin gets thrown into the fire today. Completely unfair situation for the kid, and he gave up a lot. I'll say that, but he fought. He competed out there. He won battles. He lost some battles. Of course he's going to lose battles. He's a rookie. Aaron Rodgers is going to pick on him all game long, and he fought. He lost sometimes. He won other times. Love what I saw from him, and if he can continue to play at that level for the rest of the season, it's going to be more good than bad. So yeah. Yeah, the third down conversions, they hurt. We gave up 9 third down conversions in this game. Couple of them third and long. It's frustrating, but at the end of the day, we held Green Bay to 0 points in the first half. We basically didn't let them score until the fourth quarter. That third quarter touchdown was a 6-yard drive off of a fumble. I'm not putting that on the defense. Nobody goes into Green Bay in September and does that to the Packers. Nobody. And we just did it. Offensively, you got to single a couple people out. You got to look through the crap and find the positive stuff after a game like today, because, yeah, there's a lot to complain about on the offense, but Doug Baldwin, Paul Richardson, Lockett, not that Lockett played all that much, those guys look ready to make sure that we don't miss Jermaine Kearse too much this year. Chris Carson had a good game, his first game of his career. showed some explosiveness, showed some versatility. He can go ahead and be the starter until Thomas Rawls gets back, maybe even after. So, special teams. Let's do special teams for a minute here. Money stuff from special teams. Blair Walsh dominated his 3 field goal attempts. John Ryan, clinic punting. Kick coverage was excellent. Tyler Lockett had a good kickoff return to open the game up. A lot of good stuff. So at the end of the day, if you're a Seahawks fan looking at this game, you're going to be discouraged that you lost. But the number one thing you should take away from this, the number one thing you should remember, this defense looks as good as the defense that won a Super Bowl in 2013. They've got that defensive line depth. They've got a bevy of solutions to rush the passer. We've got the ability to get pressure up the middle. And this was against one of the best offenses we're going to play all year. So that is the number one takeaway right now. Now, all that being said, we have to get into why we lost this game, because I will tell you one thing that pisses me off about this game, that really, really pisses me off. There is no reason why your team should dominate the Packer offense in Green Bay like we did for 3 quarters and not come out of there with a win. That's inexcusable. And somebody needs to be blamed for that, and there are some people to blame. Despite the fact that I thought we were going to lose this game, and I'm cool with, and I understand, I'm not cool with the loss, but I understand going into Green Bay is tough. We had a chance to win this game. The defense did everything they could to give us a chance to win this game. And offensively, it's Groundhog's Day. The main thing that everyone's going to talk about after this game is the offensive line, and everything does start there, obviously. I saw Odiombo get ragdolled multiple times today. I saw Affetti getting ragdolled. I saw Mark Lewinsky getting dominated. I saw Yokel give up a sack on what was probably the biggest play of the game, or maybe second or third. Yokel gave up that huge sack that led to the easy Green Bay touchdown. I don't feel like other teams in the league have to put up with offensive line play that bad. At least I'm not seeing them. I don't see offensive lines in the league playing that badly. I mean, Houston looked pretty bad earlier today. Maybe I'll give you that, but I cannot believe how incompetent some of these guys are at simple stuff. Blows me away. The only guy on the offensive line today who gets any kind of a pass is Justin Britt. Everyone else, your job, your future on this team, I don't know. And after today, look, I talked you guys up in the preseason. I gave you guys credit where credit was due in that preseason. All that shit can go out the door after today, because today was bad. And you're going to play better front sevens than the Green Bay Packers front seven this year. So that would be that for those guys. Russell Wilson, I want to feel bad for you, because you have to put up with some serious garbage in that backfield. You're getting sacked before you even have the chance to get the ball off. You're starting to see phantom rushers. You're getting hit after the throw repeatedly. It's not good enough, guys. Russell Wilson had a wide-open Tyler Lockett for a long touchdown in that first half, and he just overthrew him. It's an easy throw. I know he got hit a little bit as he threw it. You complete that pass. Russell Wilson is good enough to complete that pass, and he didn't do it. And that would have changed the whole freaking game. So I got to put a little bit of this on you, Russell. You could have played better. That was just one example. There were some other plays where you just missed an open guy. You missed an opportunity. And I want to be able to say it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But I think today you played okay. Get better. And the other guy I need to call out on the offense is Jimmy Graham. You got to fight harder for some of these balls, man. It seems like these 50-50 jump balls, you win a few of them, but most of the time you don't. There's no excuse for that. You should be going up for these jump balls like Des Bryant does, like Odell Beckham Jr. does. Those guys, They should not have a higher percentage of success rate on these 50-50 jump balls. You're Jimmy Graham. That drop on that 3rd and 3 was horrible. That was. I'm going to have nightmares about that drop for a little while, guys. That was bad. That was another game changer. Those are really the negatives. That's why we lost this game. Offensive line got no push in the run game or the pass game, which is why Eddie Lacy played so bad today, which is why C.J. Prosise never got anything started today. Chris Carson only managed to get stuff going today because he's just a little more explosive and harder to tackle, frankly. I mean, the offensive line was doing nobody any favors in this game. And I don't want to freak out yet, but I got to see something significantly better going forward. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and say it because I spent too much time yelling at my TV about it today to not address this in a video because we got it raw today. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. I follow people on Twitter. I follow people in a Discord chat that I'm in. So I don't feel at all alone in saying that, quite simply, this was a Green Bay Packer home game, and the referees sure as shit knew it. For starters, first Green Bay drive of the game. Nazir Jones with an awesome interception, pick 6. He's taking it back. Nobody gets within 3 yards of him on his return. And number one bullshit thing, Cliff Averill pushes Aaron Rodgers in the shoulder. I never see that shit get called. Usually they just let it go. It's away from the play. Rodgers had no real opportunity to make a play on Nazir Jones at that point. Block in the back, bring it back. Brings the touchdown back, takes 7 points off the board. And in a game like this, you best believe that shit changes everything. And then number 2 on that play, Jeremy Lane, he gets into it with, I think it was either Randall Cobb or Devontae Adams. I'm pretty sure it was Cobb. For some reason, Jeremy Lane gets ejected for throwing a punch. The Fox could not find a single replay that showed him throwing a punch. Could not find a single replay that showed him doing something worthy of being ejected. I mean, what the hell? And I don't like Jeremy Lane. I'm just going to say that. I don't like Jeremy Lane. I would prefer that he had gotten traded this offseason. I want him traded now. And he's an idiot. And I understand. I'm not surprised at all that he would do something dumb enough to get ejected from a big game like that. But that was not right. That was some bullshit, and that was something that maybe, as the game went on, hurt us. I don't know. Honestly, I don't like Jeremy Lane, but I do believe that he's better than a rookie Shaquille Griffin. As much as Griffin fought today, I'm inclined to believe that Jeremy Lane, he's at least better than Justin Coleman, who just got here. So yeah, that was the first big thing that set me off about this game. And then on our second field goal drive, Jimmy Graham basically gets molested in the back of the end zone by 2 Green Bay defenders when the ball's coming down. No flag. Referee standing right there. That set me off about as badly. There was some other bullshit in this game too. I mean, Martellus Bennett, it doesn't matter. The game was pretty much over at that point. Martellus Bennett gets flagged for a personal foul for hitting KJ right after the play. If you're going to eject Jeremy Lane for what he did, then you sure as shit better eject Marty B for that shit, because that was far more egregious than anything Jeremy Lane did. Couple other beefs I had with officiating this game, but I'll say it. We got it raw today. And in my mind, honestly, despite the struggles of the offensive line, I think we played Green Bay pretty even in this game, and we just got screwed. I really do. I think this was an evenly fought game, and I think Green Bay, their margin of victory, if you want to know where it comes from, you can take a look at those shit calls that we just couldn't get today. And all I'm going to say, NFL owes us one for later in this season. Like last year, Last year we played the Falcons in the regular season. We got away with a pass interference on the last meaningful play of the game to seal that victory. Probably would have lost that game if that call doesn't go our way. A couple weeks later, we lose to the Saints, where we just get it raw over and over and over again. All I'm saying is now the NFL owes us one. Last year after the Atlanta game, we owed the NFL. They got us in that Saints game. They better get us back in one of these future games, because despite the fact that I'm at peace with losing a game in Green Bay, this was a game we could have won, and we could have played better. But I saw some shamefully bad officiating today, and I'm going to expect to be paid back later this season at some point. All right, that's it. Lot of good stuff despite the ugly end result. You're obviously discouraged. You scored no touchdowns in this game. The offensive line looked terrible until really the end of the game, where things started to smooth out a little bit. Nothing to panic about yet. It's one game. There's a lot to be excited about. Home opener next week in San Francisco. Hopefully I can make a shorter post-game video after that game, because we dominate it. I would love that. And I'll see you guys later.